Hi, friends, and welcome to the Voices of MCC podcast. My name is Todd Chipman. I'm one of the elders at MCC, joined today by Jim Viance, one of our other elders, and we are going to be talking about Men's Summer Bible Study. The goal of our podcast is to help you understand more of what's going on in the lives and ministries of folks in our church. And Jim leads our discipleship ministry. And for guys, that bubbles to the surface in the summer with our men's summer Bible study. Jim, great to have you on today.
Good to be with you today, Todd.
We are going to be thinking here about men's summer Bible study, especially, and catching guys up to speed as that has begun. We're one down, have several more to go, and want as many guys to jump in as possible. So let's start here, though, at the beginning, Jim. Let's get connected with MCC for those who don't know you yet, perhaps as well, and your connections with MCC. Take us back to the early days and give us some high points to the present moment and your ministry among us in leading discipleship and serving as an elder.
Thanks. Going back to the beginning days, it's like the before times, literally decades ago. My wife and I formerly lived and worshiped with a church in Olathe. And then when we bought our first home up here in 2002, the idea was we didn't want to, if we were to evangelize people in our neighborhood, we didn't want them to have to drive 25 minutes to get to a church to visit with us. So we started looking for a church closer to our home. And after visiting a few churches, we visited Masters, and it actually, Masters ticked off a lot of the things we were looking for in a new church. And it also helped that we had young girls at the time, and 3 young girls that were about the same age as your 3 young girls. And the girls really hit it off. And it was the first place we had visited where the kids said, "Hey, can we come back next week?" So we joined Masters in 2002. And over that time, I've participated in the chorale, the Christmas cantatas. I've taught the adult classes and kids classes over the years. And I've led some of the Masters community groups over that time, including currently. And I was ordained an elder in April of 2021. And as you mentioned, I oversee discipleship ministries at the church there, which includes overseeing the men's summer Bible study, the women's Bible study, the adult teachers for equipping hour, as well as the Masters kids. All that falls under my general areas of responsibility, making sure those positions are all filled and overseeing what kind of things are being taught there.
It's a joy to serve with you, and obviously our friendship over these decades and our kiddos growing up together, becoming grandparents together at about the same time. And so many, many sweet memories, and walking through the ups and downs of life together has been a joy. And I think some of that bubbles, again, to use that word again, up into our men's summer Bible study and our relationships with leaders and the connections we have, the joy we have around one another, and the opportunity for that to spread and to influence other men in our church body when we gather together. Let's talk about Men's Summer Bible Study. Let's talk personally here. What are your early memories of that? So this is a ministry that we did not have when you first started coming.
Right.
It's maybe about 10 years old or so. Early memories of Men's Summer Bible Study?
Well, thinking back, it's funny the different things we remember. I've always been a lover of football. And one of my earliest memories was the pre-lesson activity we had was ultimate frisbee, and I had no idea what that was. And as they were introducing the game and the rules, how it's played, I was like, okay, so I've heard of frisbee golf. Sorry to the disc golf fans out there. But now I'm making that connection in my head. Okay, this is frisbee football.
Yes.
And I really like that.
Yeah.
So Yeah, being introduced to Ultimate Frisbee is probably one of my earliest memories of the men's summer Bible study.
It has become a staple, this game
Yes.
time. So men's summer, yeah, summer Bible study began with just a handful of us on Sunday nights, maybe 4 or 5 Sunday nights in the summer. We
Hmm.
had a few college students and wanted to do something with them and younger students. And I'd always told them Sunday night's a great night to stay up late and do something. So we would the study would start at 9 p.m. then, and we are people with young kids get their kids to bed 9 p.m. We have a few guys hang out, and it was fun. Did that for a few years. That's maybe 2012, 2013, 2014 in there. And
Hmm.
then one of the guys said, how about we start doing some games beforehand, play some wiffle ball or something, ultimate frisbee. And so we started that one year, and let's move it a little bit earlier so maybe a few other folks can come, and it just took off. It just became something that it is so fun to get out, sweat, play, just get to it, and then get right into the word. It loosened up the environment and the teaching, and it just provided a great atmosphere for guys to just get right to the word. It is not like a superficial Bible study, just game time. The game time's intense, and then everybody's Bible's out. We've got some snacks, and we are getting to it in
Right.
whatever we're looking at.
Right. And like you said, this isn't just simple, basic milk type of issues and studies that we're doing at the men's Bible study. We're actually getting into the meat of the word and looking at what God expects of men in the church and how we can encourage each other to live that out.
We've used different studies along the course of this ministry. We've had time in the Psalms where we do a psalm or two a week. We have looked at the 7 letters to the 7 churches in Revelation. Last year, we did a study of the life of Joseph. We did a study of the life
Mhm.
of David once. So we've done different biblical studies this year, looking at the pastoral epistles and some qualities that are listed especially for elders and deacons, but thinking about those for all men. And Gene Gett's book, The Measure of a Man, it's a classic book. Um, Jim, what made you choose that for our study this year?
Just thinking about the idea of biblical masculinity and what kinds of things, there's a lot of information out there right now about the idea of masculinity, and not all of it is biblical. And even the ones that come at it from a biblical perspective may have biblical ideas in them, but they don't really go directly to the scripture. And what I found in this particular book was the idea that it kind of flattens the ideas of leadership in the church, in that it takes a look at the qualities of leaders in the church that Paul points out in the pastoral epistles and says that men that are to be leaders in the church should exemplify these character qualities. But a lot of people get the mistaken idea, a lot of men mistake that idea that only leaders in the church need to exhibit these qualities. And what Gene Getz does in this book is point out that these are not just character qualities for leaders in the church. They're character qualities that every man in the church should strive for, because every man in the church should be having some kind of leadership position in their life, even if it's in their own home. And a leader in his home needs to have these qualities. A leader in his workplace needs to have these qualities. A leader in his circle of friends needs to have these qualities. And that's really why I was leaning towards this and thought this would be a really great study to get into, is because it kind of flattens out that idea where people were thinking may think, well, those character qualities are just for leaders in the church. And he corrects that and says, no, that's not just for leaders in the church. Yes, they show a higher degree of these character qualities, but it's not just for them. Every man in the church should strive for this.
Yes, this material is going to be impacting for every guy who participates, and it's a reminder of God's grace on us, and that grace transforming our character to all of us, how we live, and especially leaders, and setting the pace for that and a tone for the whole church. All right, Jim, I want to do a few more questions just related to men's summer Bible study, but first, quick
Mhm.
speed round here. So, just first question that comes to mind, allow folks to get to know you a bit more. Favorite barbecue in Kansas City?
I like Woodyard, but also Jack's. It depends on what I'm getting. I like Jack Stack
Exactly.
beans, hands down. I like Joe's Kansas City pulled pork and their Z-Man sandwich.
Oh,
I like Woodyard. I like their burn-in sandwiches and their triple P. Uh, so yeah, those are probably my three top ones.
my mouth's
My
watering.
go-to.
My mouth's watering. Uh, First vehicle you owned?
A 1975 Pinto station wagon. It was pea green inside and out.
Oh my, that is a classic. A pea green Pinto station wagon. If you could own any vehicle today, what would you own?
Oh, a 1967 Rally Sport Super Sport Camaro convertible.
What color?
Blue.
What kind of tires?
Uh, I'd probably go with the uh, Krager looking D thrust chrome wheels and probably just plain black radials. Probably BF Goodrich or something.
Okay. If you're taking Kim on a date, where's your favorite date spot at this season of life? Where you guys like to go on a date?
Um, Actually, this Thursday, tomorrow, we're going to be going to kayak out on Wyandotte County Lake.
Nice.
We like to spend time outdoors, walking around and sitting at shelter houses at parks and out at the lake. And for dinner, a lot of times our go to place is going to be some kind of Mexican place like Jose Peppers or something like that.
Love it. That sounds fun. And I think it's going to be decent weather, maybe a little warm, but it's been decent. Not
Yeah.
it's been a great spring, so we'll take it. Thinking about men's summer Bible study and just the structures of it, we have different teachers, and you've arranged it the last few years in different ways. Right now, we've got our MCG leaders are all taking a shot, or someone in the MCG, and
Hmm.
then that particular MCG, whoever is leading the study that night, that group is going to provide snacks and so forth. So taking a
Right.
turn all the way through. How does that structure influence men's summer Bible study? Just having each group take a rotation.
It really spreads the responsibility. It makes it to where it's not too much of a burden on any one person or group. Uh, it's a really convenient way to arrange things because we've already got the MCGs coordinated and set up. And there's a lot of things we do at the church that center around the MCGs. For instance, if we do any kind of carry-in meal or potluck, we'll arrange it in the same way that there will be one MCG that's responsible for helping set up and one responsible for helping break down and clean up. And I just thought that would be a convenient way to transfer right into the uh, men's summer Bible study as far as those responsibilities. Uh, and like you said, it's either the MCG leader or someone that they have stand in their place. Uh, and then when we follow up in a couple of months with the Men's Friday Fire, which is a Friday evening, just devotional time and fellowship time that we have in the fall around the fire pit, I'll often take younger men that don't have as much teaching experience necessarily to bring a short devotion at that's maybe 5 to 15 minutes to kind of get their feet wet speaking in front of men and speaking out of something from the scriptures.
These kinds of opportunities for various men to teach have had a huge effect on our church. We learn by doing, and it helps us all to learn. We have great leaders in our small groups, but interns who have gone out from us, some of their first teaching were at the fire events, and just
Mm-hmm.
having a chance to stand up, and those fires, when we get to that in the fall, such a rich time. We've had great conversations around the fire pit, and exhortations, just short devotionals in the Word. But I think that again stimulates all of us and presses us forward together. One of the features about Men's Summer Bible Study we've been committed to is that it's multiple generations. So we've got
Right.
boys who are, in fifth grade out there sweating and playing ultimate frisbee with guys who are, you know, also young like you and me, Jim. And then we've got some older guys too. So we take it easy on the older guys when they show up. But we have this time together, and I can disciple those boys more easily. I can shepherd and lead them more easily because I'm out there sweating with them and they're out there with me. And
Mhm.
I can just have a high five, a fist bump. I can encourage them so that when they're in their teen years, as they're growing up and Lord's working in their lives, when we come to interview them for baptism, for church membership, and here it's not the first time we've talked with them. We have sweated
Mhm.
with them, we've laughed with them, we've poured root beer floats afterward. We've thrown the frisbee to them to score. They've thrown it to us.
Mhm.
So there are relational connections there, and it's just a rich time.
Yeah, and that's a really great aspect of the men's Bible study is the inclusion of the boys as young as 10 years old coming in there, and they get to see that uh, the stereotype in our country right now is that uh, church is a women's thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that the moms and the sisters do, and uh, there's been a lot of activities at the church where you just sit around and visit and listen, but men and boys connect in a different way, and they connect in the doing of something, not the sitting across. I mean, as we grow and mature, yes, we appreciate the time sitting there and talking across the table and having deep conversation, but there's a certain level of connection that's built in the doing of something side by side, uh, or in opposition, as the case may be. But the physical activity is a method of connection between men. And to have them out there included in that, they're out there running with the big guys. And then when we come in to be included in the group that's going through the scriptures, going through learning not only learning the words of what it looks like to be a Christian man, but seeing the examples all around them of what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just indispensable in the lives of the young men in the church.
Agree. And it's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It gets the week started well, and you're out Monday and just still flying high from the night before. You feel strength. You feel the
Mhm.
camaraderie
Yeah.
that we have. Well, brother, thank you for your leadership of this. It's a joy, and hoping many men will be able to participate with us. This is a study you don't have to come every time. You probably be on
Mhm.
vacation. You got something else going on some week, but make it when you can, and it will be an encouragement. Yeah. Well, thank you again. I do want to thank Alex Volkman for putting these together for us, and uh, Adam Anderson, Caleb Sheffield for their musical introduction and conclusion. Until next time, friends, the Lord bless and keep you.